Kathy Reichs used her knowledge as a forensic anthropologist to write 17 best-selling thrillers and the hit TV show Bones.
You've probably seen it. Well, now along with her son Brendan, she's penned another successful series, this one aimed at young adults. It's called The Virals. The 4th installment just hit shelves last week. It is called Exposure. Kathy and Brendan join us now on the Morning Blend. Great to have you guys here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
There's so few of you in the country who have this specific training and certification.
It's true. I think we may be up to closer to 100 now, but I think some have retired, some have died. So probably around 80 of us that are practicing.
How did you even get interested in forensic anthropology?
I kind of got dragged into it. I trained to do bioarchaeology, ancient archaeological materials, and then police started bringing me cases.
And then it just kind of went on from there.
Yeah, I liked the relevance of it, that I could actually impact someone's life and tell a family I'd identified a missing member or testify in court.
Well, and this is something that people have seen on your show, Bones, that you created. You know, it's to the point where the body is really just bones and they're unrecognizable, and then someone like yourself would come in and help identify the remains.
Exactly. They could be dismembered or mutilated or mummified or decomposed or just bones.
You're not freaked out by it?
You say it so casually. Mummified, dismembered.
I've been dealing with that my whole life, this sort of casual attitude to gruesome death. So.
Right, yeah, I bet. It doesn't freak you out?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And if you see the opening, the teaser for every show that we do, it opens with some messed up human remains.
Yeah. She says with a smile.
I know, with a big smile. I love it. I mean, how, just before we get into this next book, how for you has it been seeing that turned into a TV series?
I'm not one of these authors that's going to whine about, they took my art and they destroyed. I have had a wonderful experience. Our producers, all of our on-screen talent are fantastic. We have a very congenial set, and I think that's why we are now around. It will be 10 seasons.
Yeah. You just finished up with your 9th. Yeah. So real quickly, too, on that, with your book, are they taking a lot of the series from your book, or are you writing and creating new stuff all the time?
Well, our writers come up with a brand new idea for each episode. It's based on the character Temperance Brennan that I created. But as my readers will often point out to me, the show Temperance Brennan is a bit different from the book Temperance Brennan.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about Bones and that and what it's like to work with that. What's it like to work with your mom?
I mean, I'm not going to say like every day is a rose parade, but I think writing something creatively with anyone has its challenges. But we've locked, 7 manuscripts together so far, and so far we haven't killed each other, so every day is a success.
You haven't been mummified yet.
That's right.
She'll identify you at some point.
And we tour together, so that's interesting
2 weeks on the road.
2 weeks together on the road.
That's great. What an interesting dynamic. We've seen couples write together, but I don't know that we've seen a mother-son write together.
We like to bill ourselves as the #1 mother-son forensic thriller YA fantasy writing team in the world, because we're pretty sure we're the only
ones.
Yeah, I think so too.
Kind of occupy the field.
It's our niche.
Yeah, let's talk about your new character. We talked briefly during the break the fact that you chose a female, and this female is related to the Bone series in a small sense.
It's Tory Brennan. She is Temperance Brennan's niece, and she and her 3 best friends, who are boys, so there are a lot of boys in the books, have some special powers, which we learn about in the first book, Virals, and they use those and their love of science to solve cold case murders and mysteries. And
do you believe in special powers?
I believe that kids today really like to read about special powers. And we didn't want to do a vampire, we didn't want to do a zombie, so what has happened to they call themselves the Virals, the 4 of them. What has happened to them is very much based, it's grounded fantasy, very much based in science, something that, theoretically could happen.
Okay. Is this to get people interested in supernatural, or to get them more interested in science, or just to enjoy the thrill of the book?
I think it's both. What we like is that they're doing science to solve cases, so it's cool for girls to like science, but also we're writing. He's a male. He's a writer, he's a reader. It's cool for boys to read and maybe even want to go into writing. So I think we're very popular in schools because of that combination.
Right.
How do you feel about having the main character be a female?
There was never really any doubt. Sort of when we came up with the idea, it was always going to be a female character, but we also wanted to write male characters. So actually, 3 of the 4 characters in our books are boys, and so it's not really constantly trying to write you know, a female character, which I've never really thought of as a problem anyway. We just sort of write a personality, and that personality happens to be a girl. But other than that, it hasn't really been a struggle. I don't say I got everything down cold, but we've got I think we've got most of the parts right.
Well, you were a litigating attorney before this.
Yeah, I consider myself a recovering attorney. I got 3 years out, and I hopefully never going back. It just didn't suit me.
Yeah, our editorial meetings where we have creative differences, arguing with an attorney.
Not so
Yeah,
fun.
not so fun.
Well, she
Pull the mom card at that point.
Yeah.
Well, no,
No,
she
no.
doesn't. She points to her 14 or 16 framed New York Times best-selling covers, and it's kind of a scoreboard effect. She's like, oh, that's what
Right.
we'll do. So.
Yeah.
She's
My
like,
way
you
or
joined
the
in on
highway."
mine, remember?
That's right.
So you clearly have the connections. You've done now. You've created a TV series. How about this? Is this going to be a movie? These series of the virals? Is it going to be a TV series? Where do you feel it going?
Well, we're in discussions
I figured.
with our entertainment agents out in Hollywood. He'd like to go feature film.
Yeah.
I've had a really good experience with Bones, so I kind of prefer television, but we'll see where it goes.
Well,
You'll
you see
find it out.
the heroines with Hunger Games and such be such a great series for the heroine, you
Right.
know, that's so popular right now. So I could see either.
Yeah, I think so. Or even animation. It could go animation.
Absolutely.
That's
Lots to
fantastic.
decide.
We're open to other ideas.
Well, maybe you'll hear some tonight because I know you're going to be in Shorewood together doing a book signing where people can meet you and get a copy of the book. Again, the book now, the newest one in this series is called Exposure, and you can find them tonight in Shorewood, as we mentioned, at 6:30. They'll be at the public library there, which is located on North Murray Avenue. There's a talk as well as a book signing. Again, it starts at 6:30. It's great to meet you guys. Keep up
nice
the
to
good
be
work.
here.
Thank you so much.
It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Will you come
Thanks.
back when the next thing is in works?
We are loving Milwaukee. I'm a former Chicagoan, so I used to
great.
get up
Oh,
here
you
a
are?
lot. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's close to home for
Yeah,
you then. That's
yeah.
great.
Good
Love
beer
it.
here.
Yes, it's true.
And frozen custard.
Yeah.
Great to have you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.